Boom. So today we got 1996 Bulls versus the 2017 Warriors, battle of the GOAT teams. And I'm gonna be honest, bro, I thought the conversation was 2016 Warriors, cause 2017 the Bulls stand no chance. I'm gonna be real. Even with 2016, I had the Warriors in 6, not even 7. But with 2017, bro, it's low key 5 games to sweep every time. Who's guarding Steph? Who's guarding Klay? Who's guarding KevinDurant, bro? And matter of fact, you better off putting Scottie on KD. Mike on Mike on Klay, and after that, bro, you're gonna have to let StephCurry eat, bro, because MichaelJordan cannot guard StephCurry. If I'm gonna be honest, bro, I don't think he can guard Steph around the perimeter, bro. It's gonna be too much running, bro. MJ's gonna be gassed out. He's not gonna be able to play offense. It's just gonna mess up the team even more. Like, they stand no chance, bro. With that being said, bro, let's see this guy break it down.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I am back with another video. This time, once again, we're gonna look at 2 of the greatest teams of all time and decide which one is better and who would win in a 7-game series. The 2 teams I've chosen, the 96 Bulls and the 2017 Golden State Warriors. And what I want to do in this video, I want to look at both teams, break them down, look at their strengths, as well as their weak points. And I'll kind of give my game plan as to how one team could beat the other team. Now, of course, this video is my own opinion, and this matchup could never happen.
Both sides.
But assuming it could, let's investigate who would win in a 7-game series, the 96 Bulls or the 2017 Golden State Warriors. So first up, let's go back in time and look at the 96 Bulls. And at this point, Chicago had a newly formed big three of Jordan, Pippen, and DennisRodman. In their first full year together, they won NBA Best 72 games. They were the best scoring team, allowed the second fewest points, they were first in offensive rating, first in defensive rating, first in net rating, and first in SRS. And in total, this team brought home a lot of hardware. Jordan won MVP, Kukoc was 6th Man of the Year, Jordan was the scoring champ, Rodman was the rebound leader, and Steve Kerr was second 3-point percentage. In addition to that,
if he got first, bro, it would have been better, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
First team all defense, the only team to have 3 all defensive players in the same year. And looking to the playoffs, they were equally as dominant, being a 15-3 record, and only losing 1 game in the Eastern Conference.
I seen a video of the 96 Bulls, bro, but I didn't know they all made team defense. I might have missed it.
Magic and Gary Payton's Seattle Supersonics. And when it was all said and done, the Bulls won the championship, with Jordan winning his 4th Finals MVP. And we're looking at this team top to bottom. Their weak points are few and far between. And this team overall is basically the perfect two-way player in team form. You have Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman, all top 10 defenders. You have Tony Kukoc, Steve Kerr, both great shooters. You also have Ron Harper, an underrated defensive point guard. The only real weak point of the rotation has to be Luke Longley.
You better not say that's who's guarding Curry.
Off putbacks or dump off passes. And offensively, they're equally as dominant and scary. You have Jordan, the best scorer of all time, a lethal mid-range threat who can operate out of the post on either block.
I'm gonna be honest, Jordan is not the best scorer of our time. That is crazy, bro. I think Michael Jordan is a great scorer, bro. You feel me? He's very efficient at what he does, but the best scorer of all time is ridiculous. He's not. Nah, that's KD. You feel me? There's Kyrie, James Harden. You feel me? There's a lot of players who I feel like are just better scorers, bro. MJ is definitely up there, bro. He like top 5 for sure, bro. But he cannot score as good on all 3 levels as some players, bro. I'm sorry. Like, KD and Kyrie, my top 2 when it comes to scoring, bro. The way they can do it, nobody else competes.
Of course, you have Dennis, who's mainly a defensive player, but on the offensive glass can get you 3 to 4 extra possessions. And for the cherry on top, you have Phil Jackson, the greatest basketball mind the game has ever seen. And for the Bulls, their offense, of course, with the triangle, which is a player-dictated offense. They read and react to defense. They do back cuts, front cuts, ball screens, all types of sets that are dictated off the player and their own reactions. And on the defensive end, the Bulls, they're a great man team as well as a great zone team. And contrary to popular belief, in the 90s, you could play zone if you disguised it. Go back to the Eastern Conference Finals versus Orlando, and the Bulls' defense was absolutely suffocating. At times, they ran a full-court press and clamped down Penny Hardaway.
And come back in the second half. Hardaway.
Damn.
Bottled up on the double team. The ball movement spinning around, confusing the defense, and a great defense leading to easy offense. opportunity. Scott with the giveaway. Scott. And a Scott blocked by ScottiePippen. His medication seems to be working just fine.
And of course, I'm not Phil Jackson, but being a casual viewer and a casual coach, my 5 points of emphasis to beat Golden State: number 1, I'd be physical with Steph. You have to body him up, make him work for it, and that would be Ron Harper as well as Jordan's job. As we saw in the 2015 finals, Matthew Dellavedova, he was basically the Steph Curry spy who followed him everywhere. That's what Ron Harper would be in this series. And like in the 2016 finals, when you get physical with Steph, body him up, he gets frustrated and he gets worn down pretty easily.
Yeah.
Now my second bullet point for the Bulls game plan would be to control the pace.
Like, that worked to a degree. That doesn't work. It doesn't work like that, bro.
And get into a 3-point shooting contest.
I'm a Curry fan, bro. I was rooting for the Cavs, bro.
For the Bulls,
but it does not work like
run
that.
Their sets and get into their own offense at their own pace. And my third bullet point is the Bulls would have to run smaller lineups, not featuring Luke Longley nearly as much. And my preferred lineup will be Jordan, Pippen, Ron Harper, Tony Kukoc, and Rodman. And depending on the shooting or the matchups, you could sub in Steve Kerr for added spacing. And I think for this series in particular, it would be a small ball series. That's not really a bad thing for this Bulls team. Now my fourth bullet point, you have to feed Jordan in the post and get mismatches on the pick and roll for Steph Curry. If you can get Curry in the post and have players double team you, that's easy kick out to ScottiePippen, Kukoc, or Steve Kerr. And if their shots are falling, that makes the defense even more hesitant to double Jordan, who is a willing and good passer. Now my last bullet point has to deal with the X factor for the Bulls team, and that is Tony Kukoc. For this series, Kukoc will be a beautiful floor spacer who could drive and have pretty open lanes. And also Kukoc is a pretty willing passer who can make good reads. And for the X factor on defense, that would 100% be Ron Harper, as his defense on Steph could sway the entire series. And of course you have Jordan Wayne in the wings.
I'm gonna be so honest. You can chase Steph around as much as you want, bro, but he's still gonna give you 30. And honestly, his game plan, the way he's saying it sounds good and all, but why would they not just let MJ take them twos, bro? What are a bunch of mids and dunks doing against 3 of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time, bro? I promise you, the Warriors are outscoring the Bulls. It's math, bro. You can't fight that.
Or even KevinDurant.
This guy's not about to magically lock
Now,
up Steph
speaking
Curry,
of
bro. It's
KevinDurant,
never happened before. It's not
the
happening.
2017 Golden State Warriors. This team won NBA Best, 67 games.
Klay can slow down MJ, but he's not gonna lock up MJ. But there's no way this guy's locking up Steph Curry, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
They're first in scoring, 11th in opponent scoring. They're the best offensive rating, the second best defensive rating. They're first in net rating and first in SRS.
KD's an underrated
overall, they had
defender,
Steph
bro.
Curry, the 3-point champion. DraymondGreen, the best defender in the league. Andre Iguodala, the second best 6-man. And they had all-stars Steph Curry, KD, Klay, and Draymond. And looking to their playoff run, it was absolute dominance. As in total, they only lost 1 game to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And versus the Western Conference, they were a perfect 12-0. And the best team they played in this run had to be the Cavaliers in the finals, who had LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, as well as Kevin Love. In that series overall, it went 5 games, with most of the games being pretty competitive. But when it was all said and done, the Warriors, they did win, with KD winning Finals MVP for his very first time. And looking at this Warriors team top to bottom, offensively, that's really their strong point. As you have KevinDurant, a 7-foot sniper, who can get you 30 to 35 points per game on a nightly basis. You also have Steph Curry, the best shooter of all time, the most impactful player, and the best floor spacer the game has ever seen. You have KlayThompson, somehow an underrated defender, and also a very clutch player if it goes to a Game 6. You have Draymond, who at this point was in his prime, and the heart and soul of the Warriors' defense. And speaking of defense, you also have Andre Iguodala, the prototype 3-and-D wing.
That's what I'm saying, bro. The Warriors' defense is good enough to slow down the Bulls' 2-point scoring, bro. I'm sorry, bro. All they have to do is interrupt just a little bit all these twos, and the Warriors are winning. And regardless, even if they ate all them twos, the Warriors are outscoring them in the 3-point line, and they can't do nothing about that. The Warriors are either going to get to the paint and get easy twos, or they're going to get free threes, bro. Or they sinking them. Like, it's A or B. Like, I don't see any way the 96 Bulls win.
A good veteran backup point guard. And lastly, you have Zaza, who's known more for injuring players than his actual play on the court. Now, of course, coaching, you have Steve Kerr and a weird paradox where he's coaching against himself. And if I was in Steve Kerr's shoes for this series, here's my 5 points of emphasis for the Warriors' game plan. First off, you have to attack Jordan and make him work defensively. I would say whoever Jordan's guarding, you have them run through screens, back picks, pick and rolls. You make Jordan exert himself on defense and have less gas for the offensive end. Now speaking of the offensive end, what I would do versus Jordan, I would show him numerous bodies every time he comes in the paint. The two teams in Jordan's prime who had the most success versus him were the Pistons and the Orlando Magic. Versus the Magic, Jordan, he was fatigued and he had no injury when it came down to the clutch time moments. Now versus Detroit, he did put up big numbers, but he had to earn every basket he got in the paint, and it was a team effort to stop Jordan.
2016 might be a better matchup, bro, but 2017 Warriors are genuinely too good, bro.
Now my second point of emphasis has to be for DennisRodman. Somehow, some way, you have to take him out of this series. He is the one player for the Bulls who is almost a 0 on offense. I mean, this guy can barely shoot mid-range jump shots. That somehow has to be exposed, and you have to treat him basically like a traffic cone with no threat offensively. And my third bullet point, you have to attack Steve Kerr as well as Tony Kukoc when they're in the game. Those two guys defensively are the worst defenders on Chicago. And when Ron Harper's not in the game, you have to get Curry back in the game. And when Kukoc is on the floor, you have to have KD on the floor.
But is Curry really going to ever be out the game? Because if we saying Curry's out the game from him, then can MJ and Scottie get put out the game? Because I'm not going to lie, why are we acting like the Warriors don't have a list of great defenders? Like, you said it yourself, bro.
That matchup. In a nutshell, the chess
like, at least ScottiePippen can get taken out. If Steph and Curry can get taken out, bro. Like, what?
My fourth bullet point to beat the Bulls, you have to have spacing and great pace. Make the Bulls play fast and make mistakes. During the 96 season, they were 9th in made three-pointers. The Warriors are a far superior shooting team, even compared to the 1990s. And for this series, I would say shoot a lot of threes and put pressure on the Bulls to make equally as many threes or a little bit less. Because the three ball is the biggest weapon in basketball for the modern NBA. Now lastly, the X Factor, you have DraymondGreen. Draymond in this series, I would feature in pick and roll virtually every play. As 2017 Draymond is elite defensively, but also passing and playmaking is a very good skill of his.
And he can score, bro.
If you get him in the middle of the floor, he can find shooters, hit the lob, or even score a mid-range floater. Draymond in 2017 offensively was a much better player than he is today. Now on defense, he was an absolute menace, but an impact very similar to Rodman. And a little bit of a side tangent, but I think in this series, KlayThompson would have a couple of big-time breakout games. As for the Bulls, they can only guard so many players and so many offensive weapons. And I think Game 6 Klay would have a few appearances in this matchup. Now that right there was the overall summary of the 2017 Warriors and the 96 Bulls. Now for the vital question, who do I think would win a 7-game series, and who do I think is the greater overall team? A very tough question, but I do have a definitive answer on who I think is better. If you're playing by 90s rules, I think the Bulls, they win this series in 6, possibly 7 games. Rules? I think for Jordan, he would face on the small ball Warriors, scoring 35 or even 40 points every single game.
Because I don't think hand-checking gonna have the impact.
A much bigger role in this series, given the small ball nature of the Warriors. And Pippen, as always, would be a great all-around player. But I think the Bulls' strength comes on the defensive end with a three-headed monster. Also add in Ron Harper, and is a pretty intimidating front of 4 elite defensive players. And
bro, KevinDurant, KlayThompson, Andre Iguodala, DraymondGreen. Why are we acting like the Warriors do not have defense, bro? Like, just because Stephen Curry isn't the best defender ever does not mean the Warriors don't have defense, and he more than makes up for it in offense. And the Warriors make up for an offense because there's no offensive, there's no weak point to exploit, bro. Everybody's cooking you, bro. I'm sorry. Like, DennisRodman being a cone is not about to help him. If he has to be on the floor for defense sake. But when it comes to offense, he's about to be so useless.
In the 90s, you can be much rougher.
They don't even have to worry about him.
More physical. I'm not saying KD and Steph wouldn't get numbers, but in this series, it'll be a lot more difficult. And when it comes down to the big time moments, who do I trust more in a game? Michael Jordan or KD or Steph? I'm taking Jordan over those guys every single day of the week.
It's not going to get to them, final seconds.
Jordan, being 6-0 in the finals, this guy somehow would find a way to win and get this Bulls team over the top. And keep in mind, that is under 90s NBA basketball rules. And I want to make that point very clear, because if this series was played under 2010 rules, I think the Warriors have a big time advantage on the offensive end, with their two best offensive players being KD and Curry, who are virtually unstoppable. And if the ref defensively don't let Chicago hand check or be physical, that could change the entire direction of this series. I think refereeing has a big time impact on basketball, especially in cross-era comparisons. I also think Iggy, Draymond, and KD, they're all above average defenders, and under modern day rules, they would have an easier time adapting to the referees and how they call the game. And I think looking at the offensive firepower, having Klay and Curry to space the floor, at some point in 3-point shooting just overwhelms the Bulls and they win that series pretty much in 6 games. And if you had to ask me, who was the better overall team for their era as well as the greater overall team? I think both those answers are the 96 Chicago Bulls. I just think defensively, that team was so great and so ahead of their time, that would stifle any good offensive team. And as the old saying goes, defense wins championships. And for their era, there was no better defensive team than 96 Chicago Bulls. Now that right there is my final thoughts on who was the better overall team.
I'm going to be honest, bro. I feel like the 2016 Warriors is a better comparison. And also, especially when it comes to this era thing, I did not take refereeing into account. If they're going to be like trying to push and punch on players, that's not going to work. But also, there's rules in place for that just because of Michael Jordan. So I don't think the refs going to affect it as much as y'all think. But regardless, bro, I'm sorry. The 2017 Warriors are cooking them by so much. Like, at max, it goes to 5 games. I'm saying a sweep. It's not going to come to a MJ has to make a final clutch shot type of situation, bro. It's not. If it does come to that, then I could see MJ making a clutch shot over Steph or KD. Maybe, okay? Maybe, sure, right? I'll give y'all that. But it's not coming to that, bro. The Warriors are going to be blowing them out by like 20 every game. They have the defense. They have the offense. But yeah, with that being said, I'm seeing y'all next one.